right.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the Tex-Trek first reaction stream for Star Trek Section 31. Just a reminder that the more in-depth Tex-Trek episode will be next week, since Father and Joel are both in San Francisco for the convention.
Lucky sons
Yeah.
of...
Yeah, my trip to California earlier this month was me in my brother's house coughing, so I'm jealous.
It's a fun time here in LA.
Yeah.
Well, you did pick the best time to go in there.
Yeah, so if other people who live in LA are like, Rachel, why didn't you try and see me? That's why, because everything was on fire.
For a split second when I saw Erin's post, I was like, and then literally another split second, I'm like, girl, there's fires. She's busy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Because I thought about it, like, I think Stan lives here, but like literally every time I went outside, I coughed. It just Erin happens to live 10 minutes away from my brother, which is why I was able to make that work. Everywhere else got canceled. Everything else I was supposed to do in LA, besides like the first couple days I got to go to a play. But we should talk about Section 31 and not my LA trip that I deserve a redo one.
Yeah, why not?
Like, I guess everyone want to go around and introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Marcelo Stroza. I'm a writer, a podcaster, and an occasional Twitch streamer.
I'm Stan. I am also a podcaster, an improviser, a writer, an actor, an artist, a lover, a hater of hate.
I just want to see how long this list goes.
Don't tempt an improviser to vamp.
And I'm Chris Garris. I actually just started my channel officially with the Transporter Room, and so I am here tonight to talk with them about the Section 31.
Yes, I did see Erin. Here's my thing I got to do is I got to watch Erin's screener of this while I was in LA, because the only thing I could do was go to one person's house and stay inside. Yeah, I guess everyone want to go around and say like what they thought about Section 31.
Yeah, I have a love and hate relationship with Section 31 because I was really looking forward to the TV show, but once that went south, like Section 31 was one of those Star Trek projects underneath the banner of I'll see it when I believe it. But when I came to the realization that if I stopped wanting Section 31 to be a specific thing, I would enjoy it I would enjoy it a lot more. And I must say that this movie is not perfect by any means, but it's fun and it's watchable. It's Star Trek wrapped in a Guardians of the Galaxy wrapper with some ridiculous plot lines that don't work, some editing that doesn't work, direction that makes me sick, but I enjoyed it.
Same. I really enjoyed it. The Trekosphere is interesting right now.
Honestly, I really enjoyed it too. I was losing my mind when the review started coming out. I was like, did we watch the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ginger Trekkie recently was very apt when he was like, lighten up. I agree. Yeah. Like, people need to lighten up. It was fun. It was a fun movie. It wasn't a perfect movie. It's very clearly a condensed 10-episode story into a less than 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
The creatives did an excellent job with the weird mandate that they had.
Yeah.
I thought the costumes were fantastic. The action was fun. The effects were really cool.
It's fun because I saw one review. They're like, it's so focused on like hand-to-hand combat action. I was like, yeah, it stars Michelle Yeoh. What are you talking? Of course it is.
Yeah. Well, and so again, I saw reviews like probably most of us did. And I know you try not to look at them, Rachel, but I saw reviews.
I got lucky in the fact that I saw a screener, so I was able to watch it before reviews were out. And then I was like, I'm so glad I did.
Well, I saw reviews come out and they were all, not all, but there was a bunch, a lot of negative reviews. And so last night I was talking to a friend of mine in London, and I was like, oh crap, it's come. And I wonder what time they're releasing, because usually it's like 1 or 2 or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I like popped up Paramount Plus, and at 12:07 I was like, oh, it's there. So I watched about the first hour before I was like, okay, I gotta go to bed. And straight up, I'm here, and I didn't tell you, but here's the best way I could sum up this movie. This movie, I almost said series, but this movie, it is Mission Impossible meets Star Trek. That was exactly how I felt about it. Because you come up with you get here's your mission, and I was like, oh my god! And then the way it ends, they get another little. Here's your, if you so choose to take this mission, here it is. And I was like, man, I liked it. And so I understand, people didn't like it because it was, I guess you would say it's light on traditional Star Trek. Is kind of how I felt. I could see why people thought that.
Also, I mean, that's how this movie was advertised. It's not like it was shocking that it was that.
Yeah. That was my issue with all of the reviews that I saw, because all of them were like, this isn't really that normal of a Star Trek movie. I'm like, this movie is literally, reading those reviews, I felt going into watching it, that's what they said this was going to be. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, this is exactly what they said it was going to be.
Yeah.
So what the hell was everybody?
I was promised, they're like, hey, do you want a fun spy movie with Michelle Yeoh? And I'm like, here's a fun spy movie with Michelle Yeoh. It's like, great, thank you. Like, I think Trav and I were talking about this, maybe on Blue Sky, that some of the reviews also don't understand the difference between a movie and like a made-for-TV or made-for-streaming movie. They're like, where's the budget? And I was like, this is the budget for a made-for-TV movie.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Honestly,
I think
you having the same opinion of me is making me feel better, because I thought I was losing my mind. Like, I was like, did I just, because it was like a weird time when I watched it? Like, I was like, no, I had fun. I watched it again today, and still it was fun. Like,
I think all those people who have those opinions about what Star Trek should be, those people keep trying to put Star Trek into a box. And those of you who have, and those of you who have known me for a while, I keep saying the great thing about this era of Star Trek, love it or hate it, is that there's a different kind of Star Trek for anybody, and that's what those individuals don't understand.
Aaron tweeted, just put this in the thing. Aaron and I both laughed a lot. Like, it was way funnier than I thought it would be.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, Michelle Yeoh is often quite funny, so I thought it might be a little funny, but like the tone was like, the actress playing Rachel Garrett made me laugh so much.
She was great.
She was phenomenal. She was great.
I very low key was like, I'm gonna kind of do my hair like hers and for this, but I was like, yeah, and I jokingly called it Star Trek Among Us.
And
I was like, but I also I love a closed door mystery. Like, the kind of thing where I want to try and figure it out with the characters, that I eat that shit up. So that also really appealed to me.
Well, and that's what I liked about it. It's kind of a one and done for that mission. And so now they left it completely open to make more.
Yeah, and I was also
please.
I was like, I like all those characters. So like, I also think they did a good job not revealing what characters were going to die in the promotion stuff.
Yeah. And I enjoyed, now I did have some questions. I was having a hard time at first trying to figure out exactly when it was, like in the timeline, but it's early 24th century. And there was a couple of things, on the technology side, I was like, okay, so she has, it's not exactly the phase cloak, but she has the phasing technology. So I guess because of Section 31.
Oh, she also might have that because she's from literally a different universe.
True.
I think she said she bought it from somebody.
Yeah, it was something like that. It had to be Romulans, because that's who was making it. Or at least according to the Pegasus. Well, that's right. Not the Pegasus. The Romulans did have phase cloaking. That was when Geordi and Ro got everybody thought they were dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so I had and they had personal shields, which was a little weird, but at the same time, really cool. But like you said, she's from a different time.
Yeah. I did see someone, oh god, I'll have to scroll up all the way, be like, and that's the one thing I'm confused of. Did Son also time travel?
Yeah,
I was like, I guess so. That's not absurd, but correct. In Star Trek.
I don't think it's not. Is it that far in the future for that? Because so
it's not.
Georgiou and Son are from about 10 years pre-Kirk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lieutenant Rachel Garrett. So this is early 24th century.
That's true.
Or mid.
The other thing is she seemed to be like about the same age as Michelle Yeoh. So I'd assume like
I mean, that skincare routine is excellent when you're the Emperor.
Yeah, that's true.
So
and if you're the man she's in love with too, she's probably making sure you keep up with that skincare. Want to make sure you look good. So
in one of my Discord groups, someone brought that up about the age difference, and they said, that him and him and Georgiou were about the same age in the flashbacks, and that Georgiou was around 55 at the end of Discovery season 2 and 2258, but Section 31 is 2324, which would make Son about 120 years old chronologically, but he looks no older than 60 at most.
Yeah.
That's kind of where the whole time travel thing came.
But also, us white people fall apart real easily. That's not true of.
That's not true. I agree.
Everyone.
Yeah. It's very true.
Like
very, very.
You may
true.
not be able to tell from this jacked up salt and pepper beard. I am 23 years old.
Wow, I'm not the youngest one for once.
I know. That's funny. But yeah.
This is also true. People just live longer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Medical technology.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there was another character was like in like asleep for a long time and old. So maybe it could be something like that too.
Yeah. It was interesting that the complaints in a lot of the interview or the reviews and the chatter online, which I should just learn to ignore.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't. I'm a mediocre white man. I'm going to have an opinion. Here we go. Some of the specific criticisms, I fully agree. I think the dialogue was very wonky in a couple of places. To me, it felt like each of the 5,000 producers on this project took a swing at the script.
Yeah, that's fair.
And like we said, this was originally meant to be a 10-episode series. They condensed it to a movie. That's why a story credit for the 2 original writers was still there in the credits.
Okay.
There wasn't a ton of room for them to do some character development that I would have liked to see. Like plenty of it was rushed. I felt like this movie either could have been longer or maybe a 3-step miniseries, if not a full 10 episodes. That said, it was still fun as hell. I really enjoyed it. It made me laugh. I loved what they did with Georgiou because one of my criticisms in Discovery was they're telling us she's redeeming, but she's not. But she wasn't actually doing a lot of redeeming things. But she was learning.
Yeah,
she was learning. And in this movie, this was the first time we saw regret and we saw a legitimate apology and a legitimate effort to try and fix one of her mistakes. And so this movie really gave me what I wanted to see, not only for Philippa trying to do a bit of a redemption arc, and gave us a Section 31 kind of story that I was hoping to see. Like, this is a mission within Section 31. It wasn't the, evil, genocidal season 2 of Discovery version of Section 31. This was like the CIA of Star Trek. Yeah. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and exactly. I mean, my first note I made last night was like, Georgiou's fucked up. She kills her family. I'm like, damn. Like, talk about the start.
Oh, as soon as she was like, I'm back with my family after this trip, I was like, oh, that family's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't sure she was gonna kill them or like other people were gonna kill them.
Yeah.
There was no way they were getting out of that scene.
Yeah. But like Stan said, I liked how they gave her the redemption story, and now she's, I mean, she had fun. Like, you know, I mean, I loved it when they're like, okay, no killing. Basically, they're telling her, no killing.
Yeah. I did say that the part that I at the end of the movie I realized why I recognized the voice doing the like, here's a brief about Georgiou in case you are people were just like, Michelle Yeoh's cool. But I remember when I watched it with Aaron, I was like, that voice is familiar, and I was like, it sounds like a voice from a commercial. And then at the end I was like, oh, it was Jamie Lee Curtis, and she does an Activia commercial. Like,
yeah, and I did not pick up the voice.
Yeah.
We need to poo.
It was that I knew the voice, but I couldn't place why I knew the voice. And at the end, I was like, "Oh, it was Jamie Lee Curtis."
Maybe that's what it was. But yeah, it was funny.
That was really cool. Jamie Lee Curtis is in Star Trek now.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
That was really fun because it's funny. I kept thinking, I was like, I feel like there's going to be another cameo, and I was expecting like a Star Trek cameo. But that I was like, oh, that's really fun.
Like another Soon.
Yes. Oh God. Not what I had in mind, but yeah, I thought it was going to be like a. I don't know. What character's alive in this time period? Like,
Scott. Well, Scotty's probably not in his. No, he's in his transporter buffer at this point. Chekhov could be around. Sulu could be around. Uhura.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I did find it interesting. Whereas I think when this was a TV show, I think maybe that bits about her and her family and San were probably supposed to be spread out over a couple episodes,
or its own episode,
or its own episode. But I did pretty quickly be like, so the guy is San, the guy in the future, like
1000%. Yeah, this movie was certainly predictable, but that did not deter.
But I was like, also fun. I would say where like I thought the like Among Us aspect of it, I was like I don't know which of these characters are trustworthy, except when they're like, it's Rachel Garrett, and I was like, that seems unlikely.
Yes.
Like, that seems like an unlikely swing for this movie to make.
Yeah, I'm typing it here. I'm sorry, go.
Yeah.
No, look, like you guys mentioned that you guys like the little mission briefing for those individuals that didn't watch Section 31. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I hated that. I was like, if you're gonna look, and it's a movie, it doesn't matter if it's a TV movie, if you feel the need to do that, do it within the dialogue. So I really didn't like that decision. Also, the pointy-eared Vulcan guy, whatever the hell he was really, really annoying and grating. I didn't like him. But it worked for this movie that was cobbled together by God knows how many writers, as you guys have been saying.
Well, I laughed at. I don't think it was when the second Vulcan came in at the end, and he's talking. I'm sitting there. That Vulcan has a southern accent, like he's from New Orleans.
Yeah. Well, now it's whatever accent, because that's the guy's wife in the suit now. Who's apparently mad because he's a deadbeat dad.
Okay.
As far as I can tell.
But I just laugh. I'm like, I had to stop and rewind that a couple times. Is that really like?
Yeah, his accent was going all over the place. The actor is South African.
Okay.
And I at several points I was like, is that an Irish?
Yeah.
Like what's happening? I enjoyed it. I thought he was funny as hell, and seeing somebody
it was
done
also
up as a Vulcan.
I think the accent's supposed to be bad. Like it's not like he's purposely going like character actor ham with it.
Yeah.
I also
and he's also hot.
You're not wrong.
Don't if you want to maintain that opinion, don't learn more about the actor. Nothing problematic or weird, just not when you're a motivational speaker, I have the sex appeal evaporates.
That's fair. I was like, oh no. Oh, okay. Just a little cringe, not like
Yeah. Exactly that.
Nothing crazy.
I thought Sam Richardson was also really good.
Yes.
And so funny. And if you see him talk about how like any interview where he's talking about this, it's just like it's a nerd just really excited to be in Star Trek.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, very charming to me. And he is like, he's very like as himself, a very charming person. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, I think I also talked about, I really like the actress playing Rachel Garrett. I thought like her, like every time they would cut to her, she'd be like so disrespectful. I was like, why are you so funny?
Yeah.
Well, I like how I said in the chat, she was there as the, the cop, the Starfleet, she's there to, try and not allow them to violate too many rules.
Yes.
She was the referee as much as she could. And you could tell, oh man, Georgiou loved her because she also loved just to screw with her. She's like, okay, Starfleet, and just want you.
I love how Starfleet became like Clark Kent's nickname, Superman, or not Superman, Smallville.
Yeah.
Like, I do want whatever that creepy toy was. I thought that hilarious.
That was so funny. There were two things with their interaction. One, it reminded me of how mean and then warmed up to Tilly Georgiou was versus this interaction where it's not at all mean. It's just teasing. So like we are literally seeing, for those who claim it's not there, we are literally seeing tremendous growth for this character. And I loved learning a little bit more about Rachel Garrett. Like we now know she wasn't just the captain of the Enterprise. She's a great scientist. And for those who are complaining that this didn't feel Star Trek enough, she solves a very big problem through science. She's science. Yes, it's an explosion, but she uses science to solve a problem.
Yeah, she also was just like, okay, this is from this civilization that we don't take their technology because it goes boom. Well, we need to go boom now. So
that was funny. I was just like, oh my god.
Also, anytime they were on the ship and she was like, we're gonna shoot them, like, we have garbage.
Yes.
Like,
that was so awesome.
That's all we have. But she was like, I'm gonna pretend like I'm in a Starfleet ship to like
the hero ship being a garbage scow is such a great gag.
I also, the moment where they like leave her tied up while they're like going to their action sequence and she gets out and she's like, yeah.
Just leave me tied.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I wish we got more of the Delton. She was fun. And
she was fun. I was sad when I was like, oh no, bye.
Yeah.
I know. I was surprised how quickly she was.
Yeah, that was the one I was like, oh, they did a good job not revealing that was going to be part of it. I thought the person, is his name Alok, the
leader.
The leader. I thought he was really charming too. Also gorgeous.
Yes.
I was like, that
man is sexy as hell.
Yeah, I was like, if I was Georgiou, I'd also be like, okay.
All day.
Yeah.
Until the warp core breaches.
And I thought it was interesting having them play off each other when they have like not the same, but like similar backstories of like I would say Georgiou is probably a little more complicit in her genocide. But
just a smidge. Just a smidge. Well, I was surprised. Okay, so I wasn't sure. I was like, at first, I'm like, are they killing themselves? I'm like, that's gonna be I was like, really? And
when I watched with Aaron, I was like, is this like Rogue One? Like, I was like, oh no, okay.
Yeah. I was gearing up to be very upset. I was like, I don't want this to be the end.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, but I was also like, well, I was sitting there like, well, Rachel can't die. Like,
well, yeah, I knew she can't die.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't, because I'm hoping we get like a series of movies with these characters. I would say I could have used it to be a tad bit longer. It's pretty short.
Hour and 35 minutes. That is not long.
No, especially this day and age for like theatrical length things. Hell, like HBO TV shows are like that length now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to burst your bubble, Rachel, or we're not going to get another Section 31 movie or Section 31 anything. In my opinion, I think they're going to wash their hands of this.
I think it depends how they do. I can understand where you're coming from, but I would imagine, like just my observation of Paramount lately, it's been very data driven. Like, if you believe Twitter, Discovery is terrible. Nobody liked it, and yet it was actually very popular on the platform. That's why we got this movie in the first place. So if it does well, they could do more.
Very interesting to see how this does outside of like
there's always
our Trek bubble that we live in.
Yeah,
there's always a hope for more Trek, but personally, I just don't think that Paramount's gonna give Section 31 another shot.
I could also see them doing if Michelle Yeoh is too busy. Using there are other like good I it's not just because my name is Rachel. I really like I can like see something with Rachel Garrett.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just gonna be hard not to have Michelle Yeoh in it, just because again, like I said at the beginning, it kind of made me think she's the Ethan Hunt.
The only way that I will jump out of my goddamn skin if Paramount or those people that own Star Trek decide to somehow bring back Michelle Yeoh is if they do a movie off of one of my favorite books based on Discovery. It's called Desperate Hours. Yeah, I love that book. If they do that, if they give me Prime,
Emily Dax is in it.
Yeah. If they give me Prime JoJo, I would love that. Better yet, if they let David Mack do the write the movie, I'll lose my shit.
Yeah. That would be great.
It would be interesting actually to see her play Prime JoJo again.
Yeah, because I've always wanted Prime JoJo. You know that, Rachel.
This is true. I've always I did not think it was showing up here. I've always thought it'd be fun if they would like bring in Prime Lorca somewhere.
That would have been cool too.
Yeah. Or although my one complaint about the episodes where they like write Georgiou off of Discovery, that entire episode they seem to be leading up for a Lorca cameo that doesn't happen.
Yes.
Which is the weirdest. And
they tease things a lot in some of the newer projects, like Pelia and Amanda Grayson knowing each other was teed up, and then the episode in season 2 where Amanda shows up,
nothing.
She Carol Kane wasn't available that week, and like rework your schedule. Y'all tease this up.
Have her come. It was odd. Heresy. But no, that I noticed. I think they must have learned from people complaining about that, because in the last season of Discovery and that episode where they're like time traveling a bunch and they go to where it should be Lorca, they're like, Lorca's off ship.
Yeah.
They're like, Lorca's not here.
Or like in Picard season 3, they're gonna name drop Janeway 18 times.
Yeah. Although apparently they're like, we ran out of money.
That was what I heard too.
And I was like, okay, that at least makes kind of sense.
And
that it's the same with Jason Isaacs, I'm sure. Like, if you're looking at budget, I personally don't think we're gonna get Star Trek 4 anytime soon, because all of those actors are $5 million actors minimum.
Remember when they were like, we're gonna try to work Chris Hemsworth back into this?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
you got Thor money.
I remember.
You got MCU money
now? I remember when that piece of news came out on Deadline, and I lost my fucking shit.
Yeah.
Because I love the Kelvin timeline, and the fact that Bad Robot was going to produce it at the time, I was like,
Mhm.
fuck yeah!
Mhm.
But you know what? I guess we can't have good things if we're Star Trek fans, can we?
No,
I mean, we got a good thing today, Marcelo.
We did.
I
Silver
liked it.
linings.
I just
We did. Silver
Yeah,
linings.
really. Yeah.
we just need the movie people to be realistic about budgets, and
Yeah.
like, if you want Hollywood actors, you have to pay Hollywood actor price.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. That's right.
But Paramount's not willing to spend that.
But
They're not willing to spend that money.
You know what? With all my doom and gloom, I do want to say that I am positive that Skydance. I am positive that Skydance is going to take Star Trek in a more positive direction, both financially and both on the screen and on the small screen, both on the big screen and the small screen.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
I also think
right
this
there
is the right way to go. If they're like, we're not getting the budget to do movies, why don't we start doing like made for streaming ones?
Yeah.
Right.
And do them if they can afford it. Yeah. Let's do, 2 hours, hour 45. Well, 2 hours. Let's really do 2 hours if you can get that, because
what? I can handle longer movies when they're made for streaming, because when I have to use the bathroom, I can just pause them.
Pause it. Well, I think Stan made a comment about, because this was a 10 episode series, and they chopped it to an hour and 35 minutes, they had to just go boom, 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 which didn't allow a lot of room. Like one thing everybody said, character building, the storyline.
The problem was I liked all the characters, so it was like I want more of them.
Yeah. Well, I like all the characters too, but if we get an extra 30 minutes, I mean, you're not going to get a lot, but it would get better.
Yeah.
I
think even 15 minutes could have given it, like, we learned just enough about each of them that it leaves you wanting a little too much more in this little bite. But I see in this movie, like, each of them gets an episode where you see their backstory, right? Like I see I can see the outline perfectly. And so, like, I mean, I'm bitchy Betty about some things, certainly. Not as bad as some of the reviews, obviously, but like I could not imagine the challenge that they had taking a 10 episode outline and be like, you've got 100 minutes.
Yeah. What confused me the most is a lot of those reviews seem to be like, this is the worst Star Trek thing I've ever seen. And I was like, what are you talking about? There's
the very short treks exist, so don't even come for me about Section 31.
I was like, this wasn't I was like, there are offensive episodes of Star Trek. Like,
yes, Code of Honor exists.
Yeah, exactly. Code of Honor is out there. I regularly, when people start watching TNG, I have to be like, you should skip the 3rd episode. It's racist. Like, I don't like. This was a fun spy movie with Michelle Yeoh, which I'm like, great.
Exactly.
And she has a really cool space station. Sorry, Deep Space Nine. This is my new favorite. It can go to warp.
I know. I wasn't expecting that.
I also, this was, I love the singer, because my favorite part is at one point the action starts and she just like walks off stage with her mic. Like, I gotta go.
The microphone, like, she doesn't have a stage hand.
Yeah, I was like, I love her. I don't know.
Philippa Georgiou is not paying union stage crafters.
God, what was her alias? Madam something?
Toussaint Lefloc or something ridiculous.
I love it. Everyone was like, yeah, we're pretending you're French. Sure.
Yeah. You're French.
You're French. With your obviously like Hong Kong accent.
Singapore, right?
Singapore.
Or no.
Where is she from? It might be Singapore. You might be
get it right.
I think it's Singapore.
Michelle Yeoh?
Michelle Yeoh is Malaysian.
Sorry, my bad.
Malaysian.
You all were wrong.
Yeah, no, my apologies. Malaysian. I was like, wait a minute, like
her accent is not French.
Georgiou is from Malaysia.
Also, also selfishly, for the love of God, I want Alex Kurtzman to write something for Star Trek again. For love of God, like, can you? Yeah. He's probably gonna be a writer on
Joanne, yes.
Yeah.
On Academy, but I want one of my favorite as well, trying to actually write something for Star Trek.
Okay, what RC is saying here reminded me of like they had really good banter about like one thing about her name. They're like, "Do you want fries with that?"
Yes.
But like they often all their banter together was really good for like you would think when you have like it was amazing to me they found time for that with the movie pretty short.
Yeah.
To
Her
be
most
like
imperial majesty, mother of the fatherland, overlord of Vulcan, dominus of Kronos, Regina Andor, Philippa Georgiou, Augustus Eoponius Centaurus.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually because when we watch the screener, there's no subtitles. So when they were like, "Is it God's End or God?" I was like, "Actually, I'm not sure because there's no subtitles."
So like, funny. Quick question. I have a question. Yeah. Is it God's Send or God's End? Yeah. I'm not hearing the difference.
Yeah.
The shit was funny.
I was like legitimately like laughing, and I was laughing at things that were supposed to be jokes, which is not always the case in Star Trek.
Yes.
Like, I'm not sure. I laugh when I watch Masks. I'm not sure I'm laughing at things I'm supposed to be laughing at.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching this movie, I laughed at pretty much everything, and I didn't question whether it was a bad laugh or a good laugh. I just had fun with this movie.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The review. I said this before when I read like the first reviews. I was sitting there like, did they send the wrong thing to some people? What are you talking about? Like, like I said, it's not the best Star Trek thing I've ever seen, and I feel like I'm defending it more because the other reviews were so bad.
Yeah,
that I'm like,
that's the thing that pisses like. So control what you can control is a vibe of ours at work for sure. But I also like I work in politics, so I tell people this all the time. You have influence over people around you. We all do. We are all more influenced than we might think. And so I think the way it translates into the Trek community, it is a self-fulfilling prophecy that when you say things like nobody wanted this, first of all, don't speak for me. I'm not no one. I wanted this.
Yeah.
When you say things like this isn't a Star Trek movie, yes, it actually is. It was produced by the creators behind Star Trek. Eugene Roddenberry's fucking name is on it. Don't disrespect that family.
Yeah.
That's my job. I don't like I'm actively one of the people who's like, I don't give a fuck what Gene's vision would be. Like in the same way I don't care what the founding fathers would think about today's politics.
Yeah.
They're gone. Yeah. When I'm dead, I won't give a shit. Do whatever with Trek.
Yeah.
So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If we're so bitchy and up our own asses about Trek not fitting in a specific box,
I also feel like
so many people were saying, oh, well, I read this review and I'm not going to, I just won't watch it. It sounds like it's as bad as I thought it was going to be. So they won't even know.
Because I tweeted something like, I'm really confused by the reviews. And some people were like, oh, maybe I will watch it then. I'm like, okay, glad I saved someone to be like, go.
Well,
like,
yes.
It's a fun hour and a half action movie. Like, I don't.
People should make up their own minds instead of jumping to the conclusions based on something that somebody said on Twitter.
I disagree.
A like self-fulfilling prophecy where some people just didn't like the idea of a Section 31 show or movie, and so they decided what it was.
I saw comments that were like, I knew this was going to be bad, and then I should have screenshot it because they said something like it was so bad it had blah blah blah, and like said something that was absolutely not in the movie.
Oh, really?
Like you're just making shit up now. Like, God,
I think I maybe saw a couple things like that, and I was like, either they're lying, or I saw a different cut of this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this.
There was a second because I saw the screener. Like, is there a different? No, like what I saw. Like,
I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts today, and the people who are normally on it were great, but there was a guest complaining about one of the fight sequences. And their complaint boiled down to I couldn't tell who got kicked off of the platform, and I didn't know why they were even fighting in that moment to begin with. And I just had to turn it off because, like, they were fighting in that moment because they had just discovered one of them had betrayed them. Like,
it was
you just weren't fucking paying attention, and you want to bitch and moan about this movie not fitting into your
they
small box
discovered
of what
that
Trek
dude's a
should
mole.
be.
He made the other dude fight them, and so they went after him.
Yeah,
not even paying attention in the movie, and then going on podcasts and saying what wasn't happening.
Here, if you're wanting to like just kind of watch something, fine. I'm not here to judge you for how you watch stuff. If you're going to talk about it on a podcast, I watch Star Trek differently than I watch a lot of other shows because they come on here.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, look,
it's the only thing I watch without my phone.
Yeah, I mean, look,
the only reason I have my phone is I sometimes will Google if I think I like catch a reference or something to something to be like, am I correct in what I'm thinking it is?
The only thing, I will say one thing. My love of Star Trek got a lot better when I stopped giving a fuck about what other people thought about Star Trek or what they said about Star Trek.
Yeah.
Just because some fucking wackadoo person that I don't know says on some fucking social media website that says they don't like this or that, I don't let that affect me. I don't give two rats. I don't care what Joe Schmo thinks about Star Trek down the street. The only opinion that matters to me is mine.
Yeah.
So that's my philosophy to make my Star Trek viewing a lot more peaceful.
Yeah. It was funny because I saw the screener about a week ago and I was like, oh, I want to talk about this with people already. And then I saw other people talking about it. We're like, what? What's going on?
So I'll admit, when I saw the trailer, when they released, I think the last trailer, I had my doubts. I really, really did. But I'm glad I watched it because it was good. Period. I
also the last trailer also to me was obviously like, hello, we're just trying to get people to know that aren't into Star Trek that Michelle Yeoh is in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Because when I was telling my brother about this, I said something like, yeah, Michelle Yeoh's in the Star Trek movie. And he went, how'd they get her in Star Trek? I was like, well, she was already in Star Trek. And he's like, she was? And I was like, yeah, Michelle Yeoh was like a major character. In like what was the flagship show for like bringing
CBS All Access. Yeah.
I remember the balloon of my excitement for her specifically deflating when I saw special guest star Michelle Yeoh in the opening credits. I was like, no, they're gonna kill her. Called it in the credits, but my excitement for the show in general remained.
How was your excitement when she came back as a different character?
It took a second, but I got into it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
The thing that killed me is like I wanted to believe that there's like they're gonna go in and save her somehow, and then they were like, no, they ate her. That bummed me out.
To be fair, the other version of her was eating people too.
Ooh. Yeah.
I was funny, and I still haven't, because he's just super busy. A friend I need to watch this with. I have a friend who, when I showed him Discovery, like a character who like a badass woman character that's always going to be his favorite. So Philippa Georgiou is like his favorite Star Trek character.
Yeah. She's badass.
Yeah. I remember when she stabbed Lorca through the back, him just being like, hell yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I love Prime Georgiou so much that I took her namesake and gave it to one of my characters.
Aww.
Like, come on. But I love Michelle Yeoh.
I keep talking. See, where we don't know much about Prime Georgiou. I keep saying I want to like meet Prime Lorca. Never met Prime Lorca.
Yeah,
and a little bit.
We haven't.
In Star Trek Online, you get to play a mission as Prime Lorca.
That's right.
I actually love because they like you do a thing, and it's clear at some point as the audience, they switched at that point, and he starts being a little colder, and you're like, yeah, he's evil now. Like. But I that was also the time when there was like 3 things in a row that I was watching where it was like it turned out one of the characters was an evil person who had taken over the good person's life, and I was like, why is this the 3rd thing I'm having having this happen on? One was like the Flash, when I was just like, this is a bizarre thing to keep happening on like 3 different like things that are not connected to each other at all.
Yeah. Oh, I was there's something I wrote down, and because sometimes I see a scene in a movie and I'll be like, and it reminds me of another movie, and that whole chase scene on those like hover carts or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was also like probably 12:30. It was 12:30, 12:45 last night when I was watching that, and I was like, it made me think of the rail car scene from Temple of Doom when Indiana Jones and Short Round are going through there, that mine.
It's the same way. I was like, and now I'm thinking, I was like, they should make a roller coaster of that fight scene.
Yeah. That was funny. I would love to know what Georgiou said to Dada No to get him to spill his guts. So that was so funny. She's like, just whisper in his ears, and then, okay, so this is where I got all of it from. I mean,
it's like, oh,
he
you're
folded
scary.
Like a $2 bill.
Like, I also thought it was funny to have a character named Dada.
Dada, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was Dada.
Okay, was it?
Dada no.
Yeah.
Dada no.
I also when they're like telling like, oh, what their heist thing was like, here's our original plan, and then she like Rachel Garrett is too embarrassed to say his job was to seduce Georgiou, and she was like, connect with Georgiou, and you're like,
that was good.
What a cute idea.
Yeah. Well, and that was like, and I like the Rachel Garrett because at the very beginning she actually was a little semi-timid, I guess is the best way to say it. But then by the end, she was, all balls to the wall.
Yeah,
and ready to go.
I think maybe
and was
just
Lieutenant Commander Garrett
about what is like going on.
That's a better word. Cautious.
Yeah.
But then when there go Lieutenant. No, now it's Lieutenant Commander.
I was like, I got a promotion for dealing with y'all's bullshit.
Yeah.
I also, this is just a me thing. I wish we had seen more of that dress she was wearing in the last scene, because that dress looked cool as hell.
Yeah.
And you really saw it from the front for like a second.
I do think it would have been a nice touch to see her in a uniform.
Yeah.
But
I think my theory is they didn't want to decide what uniform they were using at this time.
Right. Listen, give us another design. Give us yet another uniform, please.
Yeah, because she would have been in Monster Maroon, because she was in Monster Maroon.
Because it's like the same thing with how it works out. It's like they change uniforms like every 3 years, except for this one 20-year stretch, and they all wear maroon.
Yep. My headcanon is every time there's a new commander-in-chief of Starfleet, either the president or the commander Starfleet, they just decide like what they're going to do with uniforms, and some of them say, you know what, every sector can do whatever they want. We're not at war. Go ham. Differentiate. Ships are different.
It like makes sense. It's like Voyager is like, we're not updating our uniform. We've got
that was on purpose though. They were in the Delta Quadrant, so they didn't know about the uniform updates until they got back.
To be fair, I think it would be very funny if once they started getting like after they connected with them, they're like, and you've got to start wearing the new uniform.
That's a valid point. I mean, you could see all Admiral Paris, all of them had the new uniform, so they could have easily changed.
Yeah, I
agree, Joel.
I think it would be nice to see her in a Monster Maroon. I get why, especially with the. like I love a monster maroon, but with like the very sleek look they were going with, it doesn't necessarily fit super well in that.
I could also see like my headcanon about like uniforms, like the joke that I just made, but also like what you do in the fleet, what kind of ship you're on. Like we see that with lower decks, and maybe that could happen in the Lost era as well. You know, before she's captain of the Enterprise, theoretically the sea was also the flagship of its time, so they put her back in the monster maroon, but other ships have different kinds of whatever.
That's fair, Aaron.
Flair. I want to see more flair.
Yeah,
it's like in Strange New Worlds. I like how they have explicitly said that they have allowed with their costume department many variants.
Yeah,
and the characters just decide what day if they're going to wear the scant version or not.
Well, it's because that's true within the military. Like women, like especially like women can wear a skirt with some of their uniforms, and they can wear pants. There's also there's fatigues, normal, like very fancy dress. Like, the Strange New Worlds version of the Monster Maroon would have looked good.
Yeah,
I did love that she wears the most practical outfit of all time or insane dresses, and those are basically her two modes.
And I loved her wig. Like, Star Trek isn't always great with the wigs. I
think
who's her face in
Discovery.
What was her name with that shake and go wig from Party City in Discovery season 5? What's her face? Maul. Thank you.
I think what works in this is it's clearly supposed to be a wig.
Yes.
So you're like, great, it's a wig. It looks like a wig, but also in universe, that is a wig.
It was also like a cute callback to not her exact hairstyle, but a similar cut to the Rachel Garrett from yesterday's Enterprise.
Like, I'm glad they didn't try to make that her look, because it's she looks good in yesterday's Enterprise. That haircut's a little dated to put on a woman now.
Yeah.
So which is oh, she has similar length hair. I think works well, and also why would she have the same haircut 20 years before?
20 years later, 20 years before,
If it broke, don't fix it.
I mean, most people don't have the exact same hairstyle for 20 years.
Or have hair 20 years from now.
I was going to say, Trevor is about to fight you in the comments.
To be fair, I think it's more common for men to have the same haircut for 20 years than it is for women.
Yes.
I mean, that's true. I would say her haircut in this is more no nonsense. Her normal hair, not what she's wearing the wig, obviously, than the a little bit of a pretty nice poofed up bob that she has. And... I've been hearing Stan make this comment about this wig for over a year, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. So you haven't been watching the salon then?
Yeah, that's
every week Will and I just tag team that wig because it is a mess. And he brought it up yesterday on the salon talking about Una's wigs. Some of them have been great, but some of them girl, that's Rebecca Romaine. Give her anything but a shake and go. Come on.
Party City is going out of business, so maybe they have to go somewhere else to get them.
Oh yeah, whoops.
There's someone I follow on TikTok, and she tells stories about insane customers she's had to deal with. And for years she was the party store I used to work at. Everyone's Party City, continue. And now she's Party City, they're going out of business. They can't hurt me now.
Oh yeah.
Also Michelle Yeoh's hair in this also looks amazing.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, Michelle Yeoh's hair always looks amazing, but she's Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
But even her ponytail pulled back with the one piece hanging down, I'm oh, you just look fabulous.
Yeah. Now I was not expecting, this is going back to the technical stuff here for a second. I was not expecting her space station to freaking just go to warp. Like you said earlier.
That was cool as hell.
Yeah.
That was.
But you know what? And I thought about that. If the Death Star can go to hyperspace, why can't a space station? And it's way bigger than that space station was.
In a way, it's kind of like a cruise ship. It docks wherever the clientele needs it to be for a minute.
It actually also makes sense for like a little bit of a shadier space station to be like, we gotta move.
Yeah,
like
we gotta battle.
We gotta go.
We've been at this spot.
My phasing cloak isn't working. Take us to warp.
Yeah. We've been in this spot too long. We gotta get out of here. The heat's getting on us.
Jabba the Hutt's after us. Let's go.
Yeah.
It did. It really did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Commodore
actually.
flower.
I guess I was trying to think of what we haven't talked about. I thought the guy who played Son did a good job, but it felt like we were supposed to have more of this guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I felt bad.
His ship was cool as hell.
It was cool. But
it reminded me of Talon in Farscape.
Yeah. I would say theirs was like, I wish we could have seen more of like them together and like backstory and like scene. And I was like, it did work because they were both good actors of like getting that emotion across. But I was like, I could have used a little more of this to like.
Well, I really thought she was going to kill him. At the very beginning, because she was the, would you say it kind of had a Hunger Games feel to it at the beginning there a little bit?
It was especially like
the contest.
The contest, her like he's PETA, like it's the like fell in love during the Hunger Games. I think when exactly her and PETA fell in love.
Did we lose Rachel?
What?
No.
Okay, I did. Sorry.
What?
Sorry. No, continue. Forget what I said. Continue.
I don't remember what's happening now. But especially, with Katniss and PETA having like a something, during that. Although it should be said that the Hunger Games is not the first thing to do a winner takes all killing competition thing.
Yeah.
Especially like you have like battle royale and stuff like that. That's true. RC.
Yes.
Although the later when he was like, I built up an immunity.
Fucked up as she is in a little bit.
I built up an immunity to this point that I recently rewatched The Princess Bride.
Okay, that's what, because I knew I'd heard that before.
Yeah.
I did not remember where it was from. Okay.
That was some fucked up shit. I also his burn scar looked pretty realistic. Usually when they do burn scars and things, they're like, it's still red years later, and you're like, that's not how skin heals.
Yeah.
Like,
no. Yeah, no. I and then I know Marcel said it, but I wish we would get some more, and I do think it's going to be a hard sell, possibly. I mean, never say never, but I just, unfortunately, right now everything with Paramount is such a cluster.
There's a lot
with
going on.
Skydance. There's so many things going on, so many moving parts. I saw something.
Look, I always say that hope springs eternal. So if you want more Section 31, don't lose hope, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take anything.
Let's say, if you want more Section 31, watch this. Like,
really.
I'm curious what the budget was, because so Discovery was about 10 to 12 million an episode.
Yeah.
So this, in theory, would be about 40 to 50 million.
Maybe I'm
potentially even less, depending on like what assets they used from Discovery once it shut down.
Yeah.
At least one set was like, oh yeah, that was on Discovery. The rest of it looked new.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to Google Section 31 budget.
Yeah,
so if anything
I can't find anything yet.
Because I'm curious. It didn't seem it wasn't huge. Like it wasn't But it seemed like decent. And like I said, some of the reviews I read, I was like, what kind of budget do you think this thing was going to have?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was not $100 million project. This was like a 40 to 50 max, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was RC. Yeah. The way they were setting up, the way if it wasn't Michelle Yeoh, I would think it was like, this is going to be the pilot for a show.
Yeah.
But I could see this being because it's the only thing I can think of doing this in fairly recently. Like Hallmark has like a series of has a lot of like series of movies where they'll be like once a year you'll get a movie on this, and I could see them doing that like every couple years.
Yeah, and I could see. Yeah,
that's like, fine
if they wanted to do one a year, and like every 2 or 3 years, Michelle Yeoh has some availability to do a Section 31 story. That could be fun.
Yeah, when she's like in between, they're like, she's like, okay, I'm done promoting this Wicked movie. Yeah, I gotta pop over here now. Pop into Toronto.
Yeah,
and like Trevor pointed out on the salon and in the chat today, Michelle Yeoh is 100% behind this project.
Yeah.
Like it would not have moved forward had she not been the one pushing for it in the first place.
It's clear. Correct. I would say the fact this has like come out at all shows that Michelle Yeoh cares.
Yeah.
Because if Michelle Yeoh was just like, I wouldn't have blamed her. She's just like, I don't have time for this anymore.
That also reminds me of a point that I wanted to make, because like we talked about this on the salon yesterday. I fully understand why people like Alex Kurtzman and Michelle Paradise dip their toe into social media very reticently.
Yeah.
Because of how they are treated. Like, again, we've been talking about the reviews. I put this in my script for a video that I'm going to do, but like some people are acting like Alex Kurtzman went into space, found Gene Roddenberry's ashes, brought them back just to take a piss on them.
The way, and if you're not into Doctor Who, maybe you won't know what I'm talking about. The way sometimes people talk about it reminds me of the way people used to talk about Stephen Moffat.
Yeah.
That I was like,
yes,
Stephen Moffat wrote a TV show choice you didn't like. He didn't kill anyone. What is wrong with you?
And people act like he doesn't care. Like, you can disagree with the choices and the execution, but if you watch his interviews and you come away from it thinking, oh, he doesn't know Star Trek, he doesn't care, you are just strictly not paying attention. They care deeply about this
I have a feeling that with Alex Kurtzman, in years from now, it's going to be what Stephen Moffat is going through. Is that people who weren't actually watching it during that time think everyone loves Stephen Moffat. Like, why does he act like people were not together? And I was like, because people say weird shit about his family online. Like,
as the biggest Alex Kurtzman supporter on the stream, I will say that as a fan, both of him, as a fan of him creatively and as a person, it's been truly awful seeing what the Star Trek fan community has done to the poor guy.
The problem is, it's also like it's a vocal minority.
It's a vocal minority.
Insane.
But I remember there's a quote that Alex Kurtzman said on that panel that he did with Russell T Davies. I can't remember the quote, but that quote made me feel so much better about how he chooses to handle his creative vision. And like Stan said, I don't blame Alex Kurtzman and Michelle Paradise for staying the hell away from social media. I'm going to stay the way. If I ever with my movie, I'm going to stay the hell away from social media. Do you think I want to hear from people that hate my movie? I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. I've said this publicly. If I ever ended up in Star Trek, I like production side or acting, I would immediately delete all social media from my phone and computers. Like, I will come back after I am done.
Even just so that existing, like someone who puts themselves in videos on the internet, so that they're like, whoop, we're staying away from whatever the fuck that is. Like,
that's right.
I would want to be like an Aaron Waltke. He is fantastic in his engagement, but I'm worried that I would become a Terry Metalis. Like, I do not want to go down that road with having such a thin skin to criticism, which I probably would too. So like that's not meant to be as disrespectful as it sounds. Like I'm very liberal with my block function as well.
And to be fair, I think there's a difference between like I'm just gonna block the people, and then sometimes Terry Metalis would get in like things he wasn't tagged in, and I was like, no one was reaching out to you.
Yeah, don't tag these people in shit that's negative.
Occasionally, Terry Metalis would go and find Star Trek Picard reviews that he was not tagged in, and like respond to them.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't. I also this is a thing in like writing and like reading spaces too. Don't tag out authors in your reviews, weirdo. Like even if they're good reviews, reviews are not for creatives. They are for the people who want to watch them.
It's like Joanne was saying in the chat, and she mentioned this on the salon last night. A lot of the reviews missed their journalistic integrity lesson. That's not exactly how she put it, because like a lot of people just really missed the mark with their reviews. It wasn't even just like being honest in their disappointment. It was like harsh.
It was like I read a couple and I kept reading it because I was like, I don't understand. Like, because there's a difference between I think this is plain bad and this is not for me.
Yes.
Like,
nobody wanted this. Trek is dead. Alex Curtin is fired.
I know my favorite. No one wanted this. I've seen a couple people say that about Academy, which I think is funny because Academy is the show I've been asking for.
Me too. I mean, come on, the OC in space. I've been saying it.
Yes,
I've been saying it.
Academy Award winner Holly Hunter is not going to sign on to that project unless it is excellent.
Yeah.
Although my favorite thing is I was with my brother in LA, and then I was telling him about. He was like, "Oh yeah, Holly Hunter and Paul Giamatti are in it," and he was like, "Wait, what?" Like,
yeah.
And I was like,
"Yeah." And so, while we were doing this, I just pulled up some stuff. I pulled up an interview that Trek Culture did with Alex Kurtzman. I just watched it while we were doing. Man, it's good. It's like it's only 2 minutes 43 seconds, but he made a comment in here, and we already alluded to this, but he said, he said when Michelle Yeoh won that Oscar, she could have said, "Hey, sorry, bye," but he said, and actually instead she doubled down and used her power as the fact that basically she got the Oscar to make sure it happened.
I mean, that this was announced shortly after the Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and he told us, he just said what happened. He was, they'd already started writing the series. Then COVID happened. And then the strike happened. And, there was even some more things. So all these things happened, which we may have actually gotten the series if they hadn't had boom, boom, boom. All these events happen.
It's Donald Trump's fault. We can say it. The pandemic was not his fault, but he made it worse. We could have had a Section 31 series.
Uh-oh. Father's got a lot to say next week.
Yeah, he's going to contradict every positive thing we've said next week.
I don't know if Fathery, because apparently his reception at the convention is not very good. I have no idea if Fathery knows what we're saying right now.
Oh.
But yes, as Father is reminding us, the deep dive discussion will be next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that, we need to wrap up, right?
Yeah. If we want. I think we've been talking about an hour. We stayed mostly on topic, so I think
I'm proud of us. We did.
Yeah, mostly on topic. At least off topic is still about Star Trek.
Woo!
So Father is back online now.
He's back online
now. I'm curious whether Father's going to be like, they're all wrong. It's terrible.
Yeah. His whole guide is just going to be going point by point by what we. Not even the movie. He's just going to do point by point the first reaction.
He's going. Chris said this. That's not right. Rachel said this. I don't know what the hell she's thinking.
Also,
Dan's never been right about anything.
Also, I disagree with their opinions on those wigs.
Yeah.
Jesus,
the wigs are terrible. I don't know why I'm giving Fathery a Trump voice. I'm so sorry. The wigs are terrible. Section 31 could have been huge.
What a
my god!
What a crazy fucking week.
Yeah.
Crazy weekend.
It was also, I think, because it has been a weird week. Let's not get into that. So I was like,
we're not going there at all.
Everyone's going to agree on this fun thing. And then I was like, people are not agreeing on the fun thing.
Joanne's like, stop.
Thank you, Father. You did a good job.
Thanks, Cap.
Many people are saying the mirror universe didn't do everything wrong.
God, now we're reminding of that a Twitter account. I don't know if they're still there. That's like, it's Gul Dukat, but it's
real
like
Gul Dukat.
Yeah. God, what a weird week. Anyway, Star Trek, that's more fun than real life.
I gotta drop, so I'm gonna say goodbye now.
Bye. Yeah, good.
Christina.
Watching it stand like trying to figure out what button to press.
Yeah.
I guess anyone have any last minute thoughts on the movie?
No, I mean, look, it was just really fun to see Section 31 finally after all this time, and if Michelle Yeoh had to get an Oscar to do it.
God.
More power to her.
I'm so glad this ended up being. I was so worried this stream was going to be me being like, I thought it was fun, and everyone else being like, no, Rachel, you're wrong, because that's what all the like reviews were.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I was very happy with the movie. I was definitely like I said, I was concerned how it was going to be. But like I said, it was I put it as like, Mission Impossible, but it's also was Kurtzman also said it's like a Western, and she redeems her.
Western. Yeah.
It is. He made it, she said it was a Western type. So
I called it Among Us. But
yeah. So I'm glad I stayed up, watched it, almost all of it last night or this morning, actually. This morning, and then finished it up, and I was pleasantly surprised. I had a great time. I mean, I didn't expect to actually laugh as much as I did.
Yeah, so funny.
I mean, hell, again, I'm going to throw a Star Wars reference. Instead of being just in a garbage compactor, they were on a garbage a ship, and she was down scouring in the garbage. So, it was sure, it had its faults. It wasn't quick.
Perfect.
No movie's perfect, but they did what they could do with the time that they had, and
the time they had, like, to get this movie made with the massive star they have.
Which I'd be willing to bet, and obviously this is my guess. I suspect she did not take her normal what she would be eligible for as an Academy Award winner salary.
I would say that's a safe bet, because especially as like her fee should have like doubled.
Yeah. And like Alex said, she used her Oscar power to make sure the weight of her, now that she is an Oscar winner, to make sure it happened. So, again,
she
could have been a little bit better, sure, but you know what? If we give them 15 more minutes
for other movies that have been in development hell for years, this is kind of the best of that.
So
most movies that have been in development for this long are not this good. They're like The Flash.
So anyway, I would give it a 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
That's my rating.
I would go with 4. 4 thumbs up.
What alien species are you now?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
It was funny because I was gonna be like, I'd give it an 8 out of 10, and I was like, no, 8 thumbs up.
Yeah. So
it's like not the best Trek in the world. It's like, but it was like a solid, fun movie, and also again, very much what it was advertised to be.
Yeah.
They're like, again, would you like a fun spy romp with Michelle Yeoh? Yes. I don't like
in a Star Trek wrapper. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Congratulations.
It's exactly like I said. You're saying a spy rapper or a spy. like I said, she is Tom Cruise being Ethan Hunt. They're going on a mission, and
they're like, would you like to see one of the best like close combat like fighters in Hollywood do a bunch of like that? Yes.
Yeah.
They like played to like the strengths of who they had. They played like they did well with like what they had of like trying to condense everything. Again, it's like one of those things I also think I'm being so positive because I was like, it's actually good. I don't understand.
No, but here's the thing. You don't have to understand why everybody else hates it. The fact that you like it is enough.
But I want more of it, so I need more people to like it.
Yeah. I know.
So
the problem is I haven't figured out how to make Paramount make things specifically for me.
Yeah.
Because that's apparently that's not a good financial system.
But... No, of course not. No.
Yeah. Somebody put on here. I'm looking at some of the one of the feature reviews, but it said John Wick in space.
Great fun.
Yeah.
Honestly, less violent than John Wick, but
true.
God, I think the first time I watched John Wick, I didn't realize quite how violent. I was like, oh my God. Like, hey, do you like spy things? Yes. Do you like Michelle Yeoh? Yes. Here, watch movie. I don't like.
I gotta watch movie.
Yeah.
I mean, look. I mean, well, you don't know this, Chris, but Mission Impossible is actually my favorite franchise of all time. So it was just, I was just laughing. Oh no, I was just sitting back going, he has no idea how much his comparison is making me smile right now.
Yeah. When you say favorite franchise, do you like include the TV show in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Mission Impossible as a franchise has a very significant place in my heart because the 1996 film basically made me want to be a storyteller. It made me want to tell interesting stories about people trying to do impossible things.
I'm now remembering a friend I discovered that apparently there are people who don't know about the Mission Impossible TV show.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to a friend and he was like, how did Mission Impossible end up with such a cool song? And I was like, well, it was the theme song. And he was like, but how? I was like, the theme song from the TV show. And he went, what TV show? Yeah. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, actually,
and then I tweeted out like how many people didn't realize, and a bunch of people were like, I feel old now. What do you mean?
Yeah. I grew up watching the old Mission Impossible TV series with my grandfather.
At some point starring Leonard Nimoy. Not the entire
time. That's right. Season 4. He started in season 4. Yeah.
Starting in season 4. Okay.
Yep.
And then I also wondered when I tweeted out to my followers if there was going to be more people were aware of that TV show because it has Leonard Nimoy in it, compared to like the audience at large or like the public at large.
Yeah, actually, I believe that the stages for Mission Impossible and the stages for the original Star Trek show were right next to each other, so they would often shoot on the same days. And they would go like on each other's sets. Like, if I'm not mistaken, probably Father is going to correct me, or Larry's going to see this and correct me.
I was going to say, because we're talking about music and stuff. I also thought the music in this was like cool music. It wasn't the like Beyonce from the trailer, but I didn't think that was going to happen.
I wasn't too crazy about the music, but it really felt with the vibe of the movie, though.
Yeah. It wasn't like there wasn't like a song I heard. I was like, I have to listen to this now, but like, this works for like the scene it's in.
Right? Yeah. Well placed music.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop reading IMDb reviews because it's starting to.
Don't do it. Yeah. Don't do it.
I know.
Don't do it.
I'm like, someone says it is not an action movie. It is not a spy movie. It is not a drama. What is the movie?
Two of those things are wrong. So
don't do it, Chris. It'll make you feel so much better if you.
I exited out.
Good for you.
We're done.
Good. Good.
So that's all I have about the movie tonight. I enjoyed it. I'm just saying, go watch it.
And I liked it. You should go watch it. Like
go
if you're thinking about not watching it because you've seen reviews saying it's bad, ignore them. Like we all enjoyed it. Like
and the people that say it's not Star Trek, sure, okay, Mike. It's not. It's not the Star Trek. It's not TNG. It's not. It's a retelling of the outside world of the Federation.
People saying it's not Star Trek are the same people in the 90s that said Deep Space Nine wasn't Star Trek.
Yeah. So
that's a really good point.
Like, or the same people.
And now everybody loves DS9.
Star Trek. Yeah, exactly.
And now it's one of the most popular series. So anyway, it is Star Trek. It is based on there. Yes, is there some things that were, it's just a different version of Trek, and they're using.
And again, very much what it was advertised as.
Yeah, and I could keep on saying this, but it was a different version.
A couple of the people I know were like, meh. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. If that's not like, this movie wasn't for you. But yeah, the people were like, this is the worst thing in the world. I was like, what?
Yeah, whatever. It's not the worst thing in the world. I've seen way worse.
It's funny. I saw a couple, I think Trev was like, have people not seen made for TV movies before? And I was like, you have not, if you think this is like the worst movie in the world, you have not watched truly bad movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, anyway, my ending thoughts. I enjoy movie. Hooray!
Yep.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you guys want to say where people can find you?
If you guys want to find me and the things that I'm up to on the interwebs, the best place to find me for everything that I do is Twitter at QuickFanatic88.
Okay. To find my new channel that launched in January, I'm on YouTube at the Transporter Room and on Twitter at Transport Room. Also the same as at Blue Sky. Let's see here, wherever else. I have to look at all my credits, but yes, at Transporter Room on YouTube and at Transport Room on Twitter and Blue Sky.
Hi,
and Instagram, I think.
Yeah. I'm Dramaturg 884 everywhere. We'll see what social media still exists in 75 days.
Yeah.
It's been a weird week.
It's been very strange.
It's been weird. I'm also on the podcast Master of Mayhem, where we play Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition. It's an actual play podcast. But yeah, I don't know when the first reaction streams will be back because I don't remember what the next thing is coming out. Is it Strange New Worlds?
It'd be SNW.
Yeah.
Whenever that comes out.
I don't think we have a date, right?
Nope.
Sometime this year, or maybe next year.
Sometime in 2025.
Yeah.
Yep. And this week has lasted 235 days. It was almost like about a week ago that TikTok was banned for 12 hours. So just to keep that in mind, it's been a weird week for everyone.
It's been a strange time.
Go enjoy. We have a fun spy movie. Go enjoy that.
That's right.
I will see you guys probably somewhere on Tex-Trek.
Yep.
Some point, and hopefully back for the first reaction streams whenever there's new Trek coming out. Live long and prosper, everyone.
Bye.